It's time for my top 10 of 2014. Guys, I cannot believe it is almost 2015. I can't believe Christmas is over. By the way, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that jazz. Hopefully you had a good time spending with your families or doing whatever you do during the holiday season. I celebrate Christmas personally and I had a great time. My sister got me the game Cards Against Humanity, and as soon as we were done opening presents, all of our siblings and older children got together and played it, and it was so much fun. So I had a really good time. I'm really excited to show you my favorite books of the year, so let's get to it. Number 10 is If I Stay by Gayle Forman. I don't actually own this book anymore, but it made me cry, so it definitely made the list. Gayle Forman is an amazing writer, and that book was just so sad, and I was reading it at work, I'm pretty sure, and I just started bawling in the break room. People looked at me like I was crazy, which, you know, I am, so it's not too far off base. Number 9 is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Universe, I think is what it's called. Aristotle and Dante, you guys know the book I'm talking about. I rented this from the library last spring, and I fell in love with the book. It was so good. Number 8 on my list is Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Septis. I also read this book as a library book last spring, and I've just recently purchased it. And if I read something from the library and then decide to buy it because I think I'm going to read it again, you can damn well be sure it's one of my favorite books. My cat's free. Are you okay? Anyways, this book follows a young girl named Lena in Lithuania in 1941. She lives through the occupation of Lithuania by the Soviet Union and gets sent to a gulag or work camp in Siberia with her family. And it's just such an interesting story, and it's based on true stories that the author heard when she was studying for the book. So I mean, it's pieces of real stories put together into one. I really just enjoyed this book in general. It is very different from any other kind of stories from that time period. Number 7 is Silver Shadows by Richelle Mead. You guys have heard me talk about this book before. I have a whole book talk on it. This is the newest in the Bloodline series, which is a spin-off. Don't look at me like that. We got a hot mess going on over here. Bloodlines is a spin-off from the Vampire Academy series, but it follows different characters, and it's so much better. And I mean, you've heard me talk about this before, but this is number 7. It's definitely made it. Number 6 on my list is Just One Day by Gayle Forman. Again, just bought this book. I rented it from the library over the summer, and I just reread it again, and it is so good. Second Gayle Forman on the list. You can tell I really like her. She's a girl who's always played by the rules until one day in London she meets a boy and goes off to Paris with him for just one day. And stuff happens after. I'm not going to tell you, and I love this book so much. Number 5 is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Clint Husini. This is the first book I read this year, and it was so good. I have a whole book talk on it. This is about 2 Muslim women in Afghanistan in the between I think the 60s and the 90s. I love this book so much. I learned so much. The writing was beautiful, and it definitely deserves a place on this list. Number 4 is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. This book, I've talked about it before. This is the only Rainbow Rowell book I read this year, otherwise they would all be on this list. But this is her adult novel that features a woman who has to stay in her hometown of Los Angeles to work on her TV show while her husband and children go to Nebraska. And her husband wants her to come with, but she can't, and he gets really mad. They have a fight, and when he leaves, she calls him on her mother's landline in her old room and gets him in Nebraska, except for it's him 15 years before this fight happened while they were just dating. and it's got this magical realism element, and it's just a beautiful story, and it made me laugh and it made me cry, and I actually tweeted Rainbow Rowell about this book, and she tweeted me back, and it was awesome. I fangirled, I cried. It was a big deal. Number 3 is a book I just recently finished, and that is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I've heard so many good things about this book, and it lived up to the hype. It is about a blind girl living in France during the Nazi occupation and a young Nazi soldier. So from both of their perspectives, it's beautifully interwoven together, and it just all kind of clicks at the end. It's so pretty. It's so beautifully written and so vivid. I mean, but it's not, it's so pretty. I don't even know how to explain it. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. You'll hear more about it in my wrap-up in my next video. Number 2, Die Bronze Horseman by Polina Simons. I can never figure out her name. This book is set in Leningrad, Russia, during Stalin's reign, during World War II, during the siege of Leningrad by the Nazis and the famine that occurred in... I don't want to give too much away. That's the setting. It was so beautiful. It took me a really long time to read because it's a chunker and I was in school. But it kind of was nice just to flow through it. In the last like 200 pages, I was like, I gotta know, I gotta know, I gotta know. It's so good. It's so good. And it's beautifully written. And I'm almost about halfway through the 3rd book in the trilogy. And I need to know what's going on. And finally, the number 1 book I read this year, I have no shame, Shatter Me by Tahana Rafi. This book, I have talked about it, and it is so phenomenal. I read 3 critically acclaimed books that are on this list. This one beats them all because it was fantastic, and I would like to have this I read the whole series trilogy this year, so this is standing for the whole thing because the 2nd and 3rd one are just as great, if not better. Juliet is just so strong and driven and beautiful and just passionate, and I love her, and this is making me want to reread it. This is my number 1 book of 2014. I am so happy that I read it, and thank you to Witty Novels for forcing it on me pretty much. I loved it, and there's nothing else I can really say about it besides the fact that it was fantastic. Just fantastic. That's it. My top 10 novels that I read this year. What was your favorite book you read this year? If you have a top 10 video or top 14 video, I've seen those around too, link it down below and I will watch it. I'm so excited about this. And I don't know, I'm going to be filming a wrap-up at the end of the month, including my readathon wrap-up, which went really well. So look out for that. Otherwise, I will see you guys next year, 2015, guys. I'm not ready for that. Well, Happy New Year to all of you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.